Peter coming? Shall we wait?
Peter's 8,000 years old. We're not going to have Peter at the meeting.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies we all watched during our vampire phase.
In just 2 days' time, we shall once again be united as a single coven.
For this list, we'll be looking at films that will satisfy any vampire lover's thirst for horror, romance, or campiness. Which of these flicks kickstarted your vampire obsession? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10, Only Lovers Left Alive. Rather than a war between vamps and werewolves or a quest to kill Dracula, this comedy drama simply focuses on a relationship.
Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom.
Although they've been together for quite some time, Adam and Eve have their fair share of issues. Besides living on different continents, they rely on precious stores of uncontaminated blood for sustenance.
It's good to see you again too, Dr. Watson.
And that's not even mentioning Adam's misery over his place in the world as a revered yet reclusive musician. Although it draws on fantasy tropes, the film's exploration of motivation and depression is deeply human.
I don't have heroes. I know what you're doing. You're trying to distract me. Now, no more talking.
We'll admit it, we also envy the couple's unique style. Number 9, Queen of the Damned. Stuart Townsend, Aaliyah, and Anne Rice walk into a bar. Never mind.
Come out, wherever you are. See you all in Death Valley.
The appearance of an R&B princess in an adaptation of Rice's novel may seem odd, but hear us out. Her fashions in the role of the original vampire Akasha remain truly iconic. Plus, the film allows fans of 1994's Interview with the Vampire to see Lestat, originally portrayed by Tom Cruise, back in action. In this film, that ancient vamp gets famous by fronting a rock band. However, his new musical career threatens to reawaken Aaliyah's bloodthirsty queen. It's campy and a bit ridiculous, but a worthy watch for music and horror fans alike.
Had enough of this discussion. Join me or die.
Number 8, Underworld. The films in this series aren't exactly critical darlings. However, that doesn't mean they aren't thoroughly entertaining as horror action hybrids.
Nearly 6 centuries had passed since that night, yet the ancient blood feud proved unwilling to follow Lucian to the grave.
In the first movie, we met Celine, a vampire hit woman with a grudge against a faction of werewolves. As war between the groups rages on, Celine forms a bond with an average Joe who possesses untapped potential.
Oh, if I knew then what I know now, I could have saved her. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Kate Beckinsale's role as a gun-toting heroine is one of the most recognisable of her career. But besides its leading lady, this flick also features recognisable talents like Bill Nighy and Michael Sheen.
You're acting like a pack of rabid dogs! And that, gentlemen, simply will not do.
For building a new mythology around death dealers and lichens, Underworld is arguably underappreciated. Number 7, From Dusk Till Dawn. The personal and professional relationship between writer-directors Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino is well known. The duo brought their talents together for this action-packed entry in the vampire canon.
If you make a noise, Mr. 44 makes a noise. If you ask a question, Mr. 44 answers it.
Tarantino and George Clooney star as morally corrupt brothers whose trip to Mexico doesn't go as planned.
This bar is for bikers and truckers only. You get out!
Having forced a family to transport them across the border, they take refuge at a strip club infested with bloodsuckers. While it lacks the romantic and gothic qualities of some vamp fiction, it has no shortage of excitement. Tarantino and Rodriguez's unique sensibilities are on full display, making for a one-of-a-kind watch. Number 6. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. Anna Lily Amirpour both penned and directed this genre mashup. Set in an Iranian town and filmed in Persian, the American production focuses on a lonesome young woman who moonlights as a vampire. Although she strays from the archetype of a Transylvanian count, the girl is no less morally ambiguous. She may be a feminist hero to some viewers, but she isn't exactly a pacifist. Aside from the gothic shenanigans one might expect, the film also has its share of family drama.
Hello. Lionel Richie.
غمگین آهنگای غمگین میچسبونم.
While building a friendship of sorts with the girl, breadwinner Arash tries to support his struggling dad. A new classic of the vampire genre, this flick is downright hypnotizing. Number 5. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Francis Ford Coppola is recognized as one of the greatest filmmakers of his generation.
Yet there is method in his madness, with his flies and spiders. Had I the secret of even one such brilliant mind?
Unsurprisingly, his attempt at a vampire flick is a major triumph. While some of our favourite films in the genre tell cutting-edge tales, this movie interprets classic Gothic literature. You know the story. Jonathan Harker visits Count Dracula in Transylvania, unaware of the latter's true nature. The centuries-old vampire attempts to win over Mina, in whom he sees his deceased wife, Elisabetta.
She leapt to her death into the river that you spoke of.
With exciting action sequences and some stellar acting, it's a must-see movie for vampire fans. Plus, Keanu Reeves' English accent is incredibly entertaining all on its own.
If I may inquire, what in fact happened to Mr. Renfield in Transylvania?
Number 4. What We Do in the Shadows. New Zealand auteur Taika Waititi collaborated with Jermaine Clement of Flight of the Conchords on this horror comedy.
Yes! Nighttime.
Filmed in a mockumentary style, it follows 4 roommates who happen to be vampires. Representing historical figures such as the Dandy and even Vlad the Impaler, it's safe to say the group is eclectic. To make matters even more ridiculous, they possess a slew of magic powers. As they navigate 21st century norms and even bring new converts into their fold, hilarity ensues.
I don't think Nick should have been turned into a vampire. He's such a dick.
It might not be as genuinely frightening as some other flicks. However, Shadows provides a totally original perspective on the vampire lore we know and love.
Keep chaining yourselves up. Guys, where's your tracksuit pants?
It was washing night. My missus couldn't wash them because there was too much blood in them, so...
When your legs expand, they grow into the tracksuit.
Number 3. Let the Right One In. Adapted from a 2004 novel, this movie has a tone as chilly as its Swedish setting. But at its core, it's a heartwarming story of young love.
När fyller du år? Jag vet inte. Men liksom när du födelsedag så. Dina föräldrar, de måste ju veta.
Young Oscar has grown resentful of the torment he experiences at school, but a newcomer in his apartment building changes things.
Är du död?
He slowly builds a friendship with a mysterious neighbour named Eli, unaware that the latter needs blood to survive. With a somewhat morbid outlook and plenty of violence, this isn't your average romance flick. However, it's hard not to root for the underdog and his vampire crush. Number 2. Interview with the Vampire. The debut novel by horror queen Anne Rice got the Hollywood treatment some 20 years after its release.
Don't be frightened. I want this opportunity.
Starring heavy hitters Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, this film focuses on the relationship between two male vampires, Lestat and Louis. With different approaches to their blood-sucking lifestyle, the characters represent different vampire archetypes. Things only get more interesting when they begin caring for a 10-year-old girl played by Kirsten Dunst.
To me, she was a child, but to Lestat, a pupil. An infant prodigy with the lust for killing that matched his own.
As the years pass and the trio's relationships change, scheming and betrayal abound. With touches of gothicism as well as melodrama, this is one interview that can't be missed.
Still beautiful, Louis. You always were the strong one.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. Vampire Academy. St. Vladimir's Academy isn't exactly the school of our dreams, but we still want a spot.
Don't go on.
Mr. Meisner, you're being used as a tool to broadcast Mia's vile propaganda.
Are you calling me a tool?
If she's not, I will.
What was that, Hathaway?
First, Song Kang-ho of Parasite stars as a member of the clergy whose life takes a U-turn.
그렇게 싫어?
그게 아니라 요즘 냄새에 예민해져서 갑자기 피비린내 같은 게 훅 끼치는 바람에.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It may not be as iconic as the TV show it spawned, but this film is still tons of fun.
We're immortal, Buffy. You can do anything.
Oh yeah? Clap.
Fright Night. When he finds out his neighbour is a vampire, a young horror fanatic knows what to do.
Well now, Charlie, you saw that. Are you convinced now that Mr. Dandridge is not a vampire?
It can't be.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, The Twilight Saga. When it comes to a devoted fanbase, this media franchise is in a league of its own.
Say it. Out loud.
The movies adapted from novels by Stephanie Meyer tells a compelling story of romance and horror. In Twilight, teenager Bella Swan meets bloodsucker Edward Cullen in the overcast Forks, Washington. Over the course of 4 more films, she's introduced to the competing interests of vampires and werewolves, not to mention parents. Despite all of the drama, the flicks definitely have their cringeworthy moments.
You better hold on tight, Spider Monkey.
However, that only makes them more watchable. Like some of its characters, Twilight will certainly live on forever.
For now.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.